Welcome to Thriving Moms of Autistics podcast, a free resource for moms raising young autistic children. I am your host, Dr. Christina Wilson. I created Thriving Moms of Autistics after years of experience working with families and having my own autistic child. I coach moms of young autistics one-on-one to tap into their strengths, create a supportive community, set firm boundaries, and raise their autistic child with confidence. Subscribe to the podcast and check out the earlier episodes so you don't miss a thing. Now, let's get to it.
Hi, Mom. So the topic today is stress. You may have heard of it. It's a doozy, right? So in this episode, I explore the big stress autistics often experience and the importance of recognizing it and giving you tips to manage it. So find full transcript for this episode at thrivingmomsofAutistics.com/82. And don't forget to share the podcast with other moms so they can thrive in their autism journey as well. You can also do that by sharing a review on Apple Podcasts, or even going to the Thriving Moms of Autistics YouTube channel and hitting subscribe. So the importance of catching the signs of stress early for moms of autism. Now we recognize the precursor, right? There are always precursors. There are signs that something is about to occur. Most of the time. And when we do that, we can pivot in these stressful situations much more easily. So let's start with recognizing stress in our child. When our child is out of sorts, that is hard for us to see and experience, and we don't want them to feel that way, right? We want to do what we can, and it's also hard for us as well. But it is inevitable. It's going to happen. So our reaction to that is really, really important. So we need to increase the awareness of those precursors. And remember that it's very different for every child, okay? But commonly, children will increase stimming, even rocking or pacing, showing increased irritability or aggression, experiencing transitions or changes, having some physical symptoms. If they're able to explain, this is what's happening, my head hurts or my stomach hurts. That's often a precursor. Or the onset of a bug going around, the onset of illness. And we're going through it right now in our house. And we all do, they get the stuff from schools and different places. ABAs. Now, I don't want to say that stimming is it's not necessarily a bad thing. But you might see an increase in it when they're feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes they're just feeling happy, and that's wonderful. It's like stim away. Great. But you can usually tell when it's a little different, right? So when these things begin, stress is usually not far behind. And autism moms are planners, right? Most of the time we are. I'm definitely a planner. We often stay a step ahead of things. But sometimes that isn't the case, or we miscalculate. And now we've all done that because we are human after all. So, sometimes we just simply can't stand it. There are certain situations. So let's shift to recognizing the stress in ourselves. Every mom experiences stress just like their children do. What are your typical signs that you are overloaded? Think about it for a minute. What is it that you notice in yourself that, okay, something's going on, I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. What? So you might feel like you're on, um, you might be having a hard time focusing or just feeling more tired, tossing and turning at night. You might feel it in your body, the aches and pains, or, literally like you have the world on your shoulders, the weight of the world, maybe a shorter fuse, or just struggling in general to cope. Now, did someone out there just say, that's normal or that's every day? I may have heard that. If that's the case, it is very important for you to hear this. So important because when we all get that at some point, and when that is coming like that and it's constant, you really need to pay attention to it because stress takes such a toll on our bodies and on our mind. And moms of autistics strive to be around for their children for as long as they can. Constant high stress can take years off of you, and you definitely don't want that. So, here are some tips for managing your stress level. Okay. One is, and you might already have this, but just in case, you might have a go to step for when your child starts to escalate, or show signs of distress, or you suspect, oh, we're going to the dentist, or I'm gonna, um, have one in your car, make a to go bag, take it with you to the store, um, or stash it in various places in the house, and maybe even put it in the kitchen, for example, because it's hard to get away when things are going down and you're cooking. So, that might be a place that you might want to do that. Include sensory items. Your child's favorite stuff. Social stories that include steps for calming and dealing with situations. Another is to creatively carve out 15 minutes a day for self-care activity, to recharge when you can. Okay. And it's actually more possible than you think it is. And another might also feel a little unrealistic, but it is possible, and is to ask for help when needed. Now, creating a community of support feels very overwhelming to do, because it can be done over time. It's not something that's just going to happen. So I do help moms one-to-one in the Thrive VIP program with this to develop their community and self-care plan specific to their needs. Because it's not one size fits all. And you can check that out on thrivingmomsofAutistics.com and click on Work with Christina for more. The next one is to flip with. Now, you might have heard me say that before, but challenges weigh heavily on us. We're human beings. And when we recognize potential stressors, notice your body and your thoughts. What's going on in your body? What's going on in your mind? Now, did the stinking thinking, because it's so easy to hang on for dear life to that. So did that and grow your mindset. Now, that's something else that doesn't happen overnight, right? And it takes practice. It can be difficult to switch gears like this, especially if you've been stinking thinking for years. You're good at it, right? But you know what? I believe that you're even better at flipping that switch and doing that. And with practice, you're going to be great. Now, I also explore that in the VIP program as well. And last, add podcast to your resources, also called Mom Toolbox. Okay? So check out the previous episodes for more ideas to tackle stress. I have lots of them. We're on 82. I have lots. So you have so many strengths. We all have strengths. And you are so worthy of self care and love. And I hope this helps for you. I look forward to our time together next.
Thanks for listening to Thriving Moms of Autistics podcast. Be sure to leave a review and tell other moms of autistics about the podcast. Let's support each other. Find the full transcript for this episode at thrivingmomsofautistics.com. And be assured, you are not alone in your journey.